Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to our heritage on 91.3 FM Radio Maria, the voice of truth. My name is Stella Francis. Welcome to our heritage. Today on our heritage, we shall be talking tribal marks. Our guest speakers are Mr. Jeremiah Oladipupo Ogumbamowa. You're welcome to 91.3 FM.
Thank you.
Mrs. Udoka Odiagbe is a public servant. She studied religious management and cultural study in Ambrose Aliu University, Eboma, Edo State. Ms. Udoka, you're welcome to 91.3 FM.
Thank you very much, Stella.
Yeah, by now I think our listeners can recognize the names and the voices of our guest speakers. They are not the first time. Today is not their first time on our heritage. They are regular guests, and you can attest that they've been doing wonderfully well. And this great topic of tribal mark also don't expect less. We'll go on a short break. After the break, we'll come back with conversation on tribal marks. Thank you for staying with us on 91.3 Radio Maria FM, the voice of truth. The topic for discussion once again is tribal mark. When we open the phone lines, we will be happy to take your opinion about the subject matter, and then you will also tell us the significance of tribal mark in your states. Tribal marks are lacerations made on the face practiced by parts of the Yoruba and the Hausa tribes in Nigeria. In the olden days, it was practiced and was symbolic in the Yoruba and Hausa Fulani tribes and Bini tribes in Nigeria. Those insertions were a form of identity, as different parts of the land and various families had distinct ways of making lacration on the face. One of the effects of those lacration during that time were used by families to identify one another, connect with themselves during the captivity. It helped people return their roots after they were captured and taken to state slavery. Mr. Jeremiah, tell us more about, because I know that from the Yoruba aspect, they used to have a lot of this tribal mark. Can you tell us your understanding about tribal marks?
Thank you, moderator. When we are talking of tribal mark in Yoruba land in those days, is very, very, very fantastic. Because tribal mark has been something that you really enjoy when you have it, even from household to household. Not only in household, even in the community, from different community. It signifies that there are different type of tribal marks. Not only in Yoruba, it's even extended to some parts of the state in Nigeria, like the Igala. You can equally identify with it. Even in Imo and Owerri and some parts of Nigeria, you will identify with a mark just in the face. Even when you now see most of our girls in those days, you will see how men will be rushing them when they have a fantastic tribal mark that you yourself will be saying, no, this one, you will want to, as a man, you will gallantly say, yes, I love this. So tribal mark has been something that has been existing ever in the ancient time.
Okay, thank you very much. In the course of our conversation, we will know whether tribal marks are still something that when you look at somebody, because I think they are fading away, but we will unravel this in the course of conversation. Mrs. Udoka, can you tell us your view
on the tribal
marks?
Yes, I agree with my first speaker. It's true. Tribal marks are beautiful. They are means of identification. They are means of people making themselves known among their tribes. When you see somebody say, this person has so mark, I think it's from here. It's from here. You know, that brotherhood thing, the bonding thing is stronger with those tribal marks. You don't need to go asking questions. Once you see those marks, you know, this person is from my place. He's my brother. You know, you can defend that person anytime. You can open your doors for that person to come in anytime. You understand? You don't need to waste time. So the tribal marks are beautiful in those days. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, they are beautiful. The both guest speaker are saying they are beautiful, and none of them is carrying any form of tribal mark. So, I don't know, Mr. Jeremiah. Can you tell us? I see that most of the tribal marks I see these days are some around the old people. I don't see young people with tribal mark. I think the tribal marks are fading gradually.
Thank you very much. Why a tribal mark is fading these days is because of the modernization. It is not as if as a culture, because if we still want to go by the culture, and at least most people still we want to say yes, I want to have the tribal mark because it's a means of identification that helps you in those days, most especially when there is a war. You can use it to save your people, to say that yes, to defend them to any land, that yes, nothing will happen to you. So, but these days, that is fading up. If anything is happening, how will I be able to recognize that this person is from Ondo, or this person is from Ilesha, or this person is from Ogun, or this person is from Apekuta, or this person, because in those days there is a book that even carried every state, that you would definitely recognize that when we are in school in those days, you will definitely see to it that yes, when they teach you those tribal marks, you will be able to identify that this person comes from even this state in this part of Nigeria.
So they taught you in school?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what is happening now. The culture is not just fading, but it's not, I don't think they teach it in school anymore. Ms. Udoka, what do you think? Do you think that globalization is affecting the custom of tribal marks?
Yes, I think globalization is affecting the beautiful custom of tribal marks. Yes. You know, everybody wants to embrace this Western culture. I think it's not right. Like the first speaker rightly said, these tribal marks are artistic. They are beautiful. You know, one seeing them is looking at a lady, see, oh, look at how beautifully designed this lady is. You are interested, you know. But because of what this trying to pursue the Western culture has cost us, we are forgetting our roots, our beautiful roots. These tribal marks, like I said, they are artistic. Let me even shift a little bit. You see that even these people from outside the country or outside Africa, they come most times to come and get all these our artistic drawings. They love them. So we ourselves, I blame us for trying to forget or trying to throw away that beautiful thing we had. We ourselves too could have tried to sell it. We can sell ours. We can be unique in our own ways. Why will you understand align? Because of course maybe people started mocking those who were having tribal marks. You know, they call them different names. You know, it's like you have whiskers. It's like no. When you stand for what you trust, what you like, you stand for it. It will remain. Nobody will take it away from you.
Okay, it's high time for us to start thinking about our tribal marks, because our guest speakers are saying all the beautiful things about the tribal marks, but my colleague is somewhere nodding her head and smiling and saying she don't agree with what you guys are, what our guest speakers are saying. Pardon me for that. But do you think? So how do you think we can revive that culture of tribal marks?
Thank you. How we can revive it? Because when you look at the people of age of that is when it started fading off. Those who are between the age of 45 right now, you will have, when you look averagely, take a statistics of that, you will see that it is from those over 45 years that the thing has started fading off. Why I say this is because, just as my other speaker have said, you see, tribal marks the Western world do come here that time because of this tribal mark. Even you can see a ugly lady, very ugly, but when she put this tribal mark, oh my God, you will even be the first person to act, to at least to say yes. This girl, I must not leave her. You will want to marry her because of that unique of that tribal mark. Even those days, the Western world will come here to see different kind of marks, and even you will see that then there is one the white lady that even put that mark because she saw it
She
at
likes it.
yes.
Anyway, that's the white lady. But I will tell you a short story about my cousin. One time she was a child, and then my uncle had maybe two wives as a chief. And then when they were not around, she didn't have a child at that time. And when everybody went out, the little girl was with
What?
her alone in the house. And then she was not from the same state as the girl's
The girls,
mother,
yeah.
but then she just carried the and she kind of designed her tribal marks on the face of that child. And I tell you today, that child's life is never the same. She's always trying. Sometimes she take cashew nuts to try to clean it off. But so if the white lady did that, there are different people, different things work for different people. Mrs. Udoka, what do you think that the culture is fading off already? Do you think we should revive it, or we should just leave it the way it is?
The truth is, we can't revive it. Yes, because you have to be a lover of what you have to keep it. If you are traumatized by what naturally is supposed to be on you, then there's nothing anybody can do to convince you to keep it. A father wants to, put those tribal marks on the child's body, and that child is saying, please, Papa, don't disfigure me, or I will report you. And the law is saying, please don't. Yes, I understand. The truth is that sometimes the way they put those marks, they are barbaric. I understand. They inflict pains on the children. Are these two sterilized? Please, I'm talking from the traditional aspect. This is us. I don't think I've recorded any place where they said children or people were dying from where they were putting tribal marks.
No.
So in as much as people are saying the equipment were not sterile, they had issues with them, those children were not dying. Those masks came out beautifully well. The traditionalists also knew how to preserve their equipment. So the issue now is everybody is trying to embrace this westernization. Now it will look odd if one person is carrying a tribal mark among many. So who wants to agree? That's why I say I don't think we can revive it. It has gone into extinction in some places. Look, I still think there are little places who will still practice it no matter what you do.
So we'll go on a short break. When we come back, conversation on tribal marks will continue. Please stay with us. Okay, thank you very much for that beautiful tune. We are talking about tribal marks. We are trying to see if we can revive the culture of tribal marks. We are saying that we should promote our own. Before we went on that short break, we should promote our own. It helps us to identify our brothers and sisters. And before we went on that short break, one of our guest speakers also mentioned that in the olden days, they used to teach tribal marks in the school, so that whether you are from this community or not, you see it written on the book, you see it designed on the book, and then so that when you see it, it's easy for you to identify who is who with their different tribal marks. Body marks has been used for countries in parts of Africa to indicate person's tribe, heritage. It becomes less common, but people still want to carry marks of their ancestors. Very good, but I think that young people these days are running for tribal marks, but they are still like something else is replacing the tribal marks, which are the tattoos. Do you think that tattoo has come to stay, and as the tribal marks are fading away?
Thank you very much. Even the way tribal mark has failed, they are bringing in tattoo as a kind of a tribal mark. Just a replacement, if you look at it ordinarily. But it can never be. Because tattoo itself people are misusing it. It is not as if they are designing it as a tribal map on their faces. They are only using it to draw a skin of what do they call it? Any kind of elephant or whatsoever to their body, and which is irrelevant. Because now I can mention from part of Africa like Gambia, Kenya. When you look at those, just look at some of the documentary if they run it at times on a program, if you are to be opportune in most of these African countries, you will still see that in some local area there, they still have this tribal map, and they value it so much to the extent that you will definitely know that this person is from this country. But why is it fading in our days is because we started bringing what the Western world is trying to put into our senses. And they are still carrying us as a slave. They don't want us to be the way we are. Because if we are patronizing their own common sense, and we cannot sell our own to them, for them to buy, this is what has brought us to a lot of problem.
Well, very important. You have raised a very important question that I think that if the government officials are listening, should also do something about it. Let us see how we will start exporting our culture, because oftentimes we enjoy importing other people's culture to our country. But let's see how we can import it, because if in the olden days they have it, they teach it in school, they teach the tribal marks in school. Why is it out of the school curriculum these days? I think they should bring it back so that our people will be grounded from childhood. Children will understand the beauty of tribal marks, and even if they are not carrying it, they should be proud to defend it.
Yeah.
Mrs. Udoka, do you think that tattoo has come to replace the tribal marks?
Not at all. To me, tattoo is what I call makeup. It's part of makeup. There's difference between identification and makeup.
Yes.
Yes. And what does the tattoo send? I am not disputing the place of a tattoo. I'm not trying to have a right to say nobody should wear a tattoo. But I'm trying to ask, what does a tattoo represent? You know, that beautiful woman, elderly woman, is sitting outside the compound, looking at the child passing with tattoo, and saying, what rubbish is this? Is it the same word she's saying about somebody who is carrying a tribal mark?
No.
No. So, a tattoo can't replace a tribal mark. Never. Instead, I think I would say a lighter and less painful beautification or form of identity is the henna, which is the lily. Yes. You can see many of us now. Yes. It was attached to only the Muslim side of it. But now, even some Christians have it on.
Yes.
Yes, because that's another form of identification.
Yes.
It is. So I don't see the place, and I will never see the place of a tattoo.
Tattoo can never replace.
Thank you.
Even the book of what I'm saying, they should go back to it. The book is still there. Asha Ati Orisha. They call it Asha Ati Orisha, meaning our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are talking from the Yoruba context.
Yes, the book. Because that book in school those days was called Asha Ati Orisha. It's in the school curriculum when they are teaching Yoruba.
The Yoruba curriculum.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's a language. You know, it's just like you have it in Igbo language and Hausa language. When you are in school, you need to choose between all these ones. Which one you want to study.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. So you also made mention of henna.
Yes.
Hennas are very beautiful and they are very symbolic.
Exactly.
They use it in, maybe when you see a beautifully designed henna, both hand and leg, the first thing that probably will come to your mind is marriage ceremony. Maybe in the north.
Significant ceremony.
Yes, significant one.
Maybe childbirth. Yes, they do it.
Okay.
Yes.
So different tattoo signifies different henna designs of henna signifies different occasions.
Yes, I'm not particular about the different designs. I don't know if they have designs that have to do with specific occasions, but I know that the henna is symbolic.
Okay.
And the tattoo is not.
Yes.
It's fashion. The tattoo is fashion.
Thank you very much. I said it is makeup.
Okay, we'll open the phone lines and so that our listeners can also call and contribute. The number to call is 081-084-47518. I call again 081-084-47518. Call us and let us know. Do you have a tribal mark? What do you think? Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, the studio.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Thank
my
you.
brother.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Emmanuel Yoruba driver.
Okay. Thank you for calling, Mr. Emmanuel. Go ahead and make your contribution.
The thing is, the worst mistake we, Nigeria and Africa, made is to remove history in our curriculum.
God bless you.
You understand?
Yes.
Because during my time, at least I encountered history during my secondary school days.
Okay.
So, but all of a sudden, even my children now, I was asking one of my child the other time, did they teach you history? He said, no. How would you know where Nigerians originated from? Would you know where Igbos, Yorubas, Hausa came from, if not because of the history?
Yes.
Then when you have history in your curriculum, when you teach children history, then you will not know the religion, you will not know the ethnics, you will not know the traditions of your people.
Yeah.
You know the traditions of other people's culture. Because without that, you wouldn't know anything. I think that is the mistake we made by removing curriculum. I mean, history in our curriculum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
But do you have a tribal mark?
No, I don't.
Do you like tribal marks?
Okay.
Ma?
Do you like tribal marks?
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course. Like my senior, our ex-first son
Yes.
had a tribal mark by his face.
Okay.
But we know, according to my mother at that time, now he didn't. They said religion came and then they said anybody. That time anybody that is any child that is always sick, they have to maybe use razor or sharp object and give him or her mark.
Yes.
You understand? Signifies that even if that child, according to them, or I don't know, according to them, that they said even if this child is an Obanjo or
Okay.
Very correct.
the blood has spilled
Exactly.
and they're separated. Anything that has covenant that was done within blood and
Yes.
you understand?
Okay.
So that is all I know.
All right. Thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. Please stay with us. Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Padu.
Okay, go ahead, please, David. Please, can you move away from your radio sets or reduce the volume? Okay, go ahead, please. Hello, David. Sorry, we lost that call, Mr. David. Please try. Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon. My name is Chimeze from Gogolada.
Okay, Chimeze, please go ahead and make your contribution.
Yes. I've had guests and the other callers. Thank them for their input.
Okay.
But I'm looking at it this way. When we were presenting this, I started reviewing my forefathers.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, I know my great-grandfather.
Oh.
And I still remember the face of my grandfather, and I know my father.
Okay.
I didn't see tribal marks in their faces.
Okay.
And I can remember, as far back as I can, these tribal marks started surfacing far back as 1920s.
Okay.
When it was on peak. So our African people started using some of these things to identify their own. Even among the slave traders, they still use it to know those who are in their custody to avoid conflict.
Okay.
And now we traditionalize it. Tribal mark is not only from the Yorubas, not only from the Galas, even Igbos have tribal mark. But originally it was a process of protecting and identifying yours against those who have been participating in slave trade.
Yes.
Then. So even for the whites to come and start counting it, yes, they may not be right.
Okay.
But it was not there from the origin. That's my understanding about tribal mark, and there's nothing wrong about it. But what I'm against anybody using tattoo as a form of is African. It is not. Tattoo is not African. It's not even. It has nothing to do with our tradition.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me stop here, as others will still bring their own. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. The last caller is just telling us that. Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Sorry, we lost that call. He's just telling us that tattoo does not belong anywhere here.
Tattoo, you can't compare. It's not just as the speaker have said. Can you say? How can you identify somebody and say, this is when tattoo? When you will draw nonsense, drawing the animal skin, what is that a symbolic this thing? It's not a symbolic like.
Okay, let's take this call after the call. Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Tell us your name.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon. Go ahead. You tell us your name.
Yeah, okay, I'm Deborah. I just want to correct an impression. You say tattoo is not really African. I think that statement is false because there are some African countries that the tattoo is like normal. Remember when I traveled to Mauritius in January?
Okay.
At the immigration center, the immigration officer had tattoos on his hand.
Okay.
And then when I went inside the country, I saw a lot of, everyone had a tattoo.
Okay.
And they were trying to tell me that it's part of their cultural heritage. Say tattoo is not African.
Okay, but I would like to ask you, did you try to find out what the significance of tattoo is in the country, or what was the symbol of tattoo? Is it a particular symbol or any kind of tattoo represents that country?
It's not, there was no particular symbol. It's just something that they are used to. I was trying to ask them, and they said, the way they were explaining, they said it's something that they grew up in, like everyone had a tattoo. So just like a normal thing for people to get tattoo.
Okay, so
it had no cultural significance. It's just like
Okay, but one of the guest speaker, will you agree with one of the guest speaker who said that tattoos are makeup? Or no?
Tattoos are what?
Makeup. Just like makeup is our everyday lives, especially the ladies.
I don't agree with that, because in the Pacific Islands, if you're looking at New Zealand, those Maori tribes, tattoo has a significant it's not African, it's like
Are you saying tattoos or things like henna?
Is it
tattoos or things like henna, like the lily we spoke about?
Oh, sorry, Deborah has gone.
Alright.
Okay, Deborah, can you please answer the question?
What is the question?
Is it a tattoo or things that look like henna? You know, there are two different things. I mentioned them here.
I'm not hearing you.
She said henna and tattoo. They are two different things. So are you talking about henna, which is the lily?
I'm not talking of henna. I'm talking of tattoo.
Okay.
Permanent ones.
Deborah, if you are still there, let me just chip in one or two things for you to know very well about culture. When you are talking of culture, the Mauritians that you are saying they have been using tattoo is not their culture. When you are talking of tribal mark, tattoo is not a tribal mark.
Okay.
How are you sure tattoo is not the culture of the Mauritian people?
Well, I will tell you it's not a culture of Mauritian people, because you should go very well. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Deborah, for that wonderful insight. Yeah.
Don't start offending people with the things we say.
Okay, thank you for that insight. Thank you for that insight. We will take note of that. Some African countries. She has been in Mauritius. I have not been there. She is confirming that they said that tattoo is of significance in their culture. I wouldn't say no. it's part of their culture. We are talking about what we know, so she is entitled to her opinion, I am entitled to my opinion, and then we thank you very much for that insight. So okay, so tattoos, we are talking tattoos, and we are talking their significance, and we are talking if they have come to stay or not, if tribal marks are they replacing tribal marks or not. That's what we are saying, Mr. Jeremiah.
Thank you very much. You see, as I will say about tribal marks, how unique they are, it helps a lot of people in those days. Like me, my grandfather has a tribal mark, and to the extent that it's very, very unique. I always still, if I want to do picture of it, I will still recollect that this is where we came from. So even these days, as people are just using, not using tribal marks, it has just like other now.
Okay, let's take this
Many
call.
people did not know the origin of this.
Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where we're calling from. Sorry, we'll take this call and then. Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello, I'm David. I'm still call back.
Okay, David, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to contribute about cartoon. Cartoon is mainly for those that know themselves. Because you can see a person is drawing cartoon. It's either it draw dragon or it draw any different things. They know where they belong to.
Okay.
That is their own tribal mark, not belong to African tribal mark, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, David, for that contribution. You can agree with me that there are a lot of even celebrities now in the Western world who are trying to trace back their origin. I think that if their parent has taken time to do something with the tribal marks, it would have been easy for them to connect with the links. They are missing links.
They have had their tribal mark then.
Yeah.
Presently, with those who are still living of that age, can be able to help them to trace it back to where they come from. Even they will even tell you their community, the community that owns these tribal marks. Then they will trace it there and say this is the origin of where you came from. But since they cannot have it, see, I'm just of opinion from what the brother was saying the other time. Tattoo or whatever cannot replace a tribal mark in Africa, in Nigeria here.
Okay, let's take this call while the conversation continues. Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Grant. I'm calling from Etama.
Okay, please go ahead and make your contribution.
Yeah, this is a tattoo issue and the tribal mark. The truth is, tattoo cannot replace tribal mark in Nigeria.
Okay.
Tribal mark is a culture.
Yeah.
And I remember then I had this tribal mark they gave me, but it has gone off. But the one I'm really particular about that I am still against is those ones they give as if somebody fought with. Or lion, they will say, I think they're coming from your head down to your cheek. That one is wrong. In Nigeria, we usually use them to disfigure those kind of people. If you want to refer to them, describe them, say that man that looks like somebody that fought with tiger, like he's not good. I think they could give you the one that will beautify you. Not those one. All those one we could keep them aside and then look for a way to make it look beautiful, not those ones. That's just my opinion.
Oh, thank you very much for that contribution. I have seen there's a write-up somewhere that said that the Yoruba people, they have some people who have 12 tribal marks on this small face that we have. Some even have 16.
Yes, that is why I'm just telling you that tribal marks, even from that number, let me tell you, it's just like if you want to see some of the Fulani, look at this their mouth here. They have their mouth just 3. Some is 9. So that is the way you will be able to recognize that this person, this tribal mark is from so place.
Yeah, but let's go straight up to you, our beautiful Mrs. Udoka. You said that tribal marks are a way means of identification, but I think we have found another soft spot support a soft way of identifying ourselves, traditional dressings. Our traditional attires too are so significant that when you see someone from any geopolitical region dressed up, it's easy for you to identify that this person is from this geopolitical zone, or better still, this person is trying to represent this geopolitical zone with this particular attire. Do you think it can help us?
Yes, it can help us. But don't forget, the tribal marks are on day, night, every time. Your dress can be off at a particular time. So, sometimes you showcase these clothes when there are ceremonies. You don't showcase your marks when there are ceremonies only. You understand?
Yeah.
If the Westerners even saw tattoo so perfect, when they were taking Africans into slavery, they were using hot knives to inscribe marks on their bodies.
On their body.
What will you call that? To show that to identify these particular ones as this particular set of slaves.
Yes.
So I bet you, even we in the studio now, if we see a young lady with a very beautiful tribal mark or dress, before we begin to criticize, we will all be lost, first of all. Wondering, what does this represent? Where is she from? Like my speaker said, no matter how she is, even if she's not well dressed, that mark will attract you. What's this? Even if you want to criticize it, you will first of all start by admiring it.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, start admiring it.
Yes.
Okay, I like what you're saying. Please call us and let us know what you think about tribal marks. The number to call is 081 084 47518. I call again 081 084 47518. Please call us and let us know what you think about tribal marks. Do you think that tribal marks, the tattoos are replacing the tribal marks? Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Juliet. I'm calling from Lokogoma.
Okay, Juliet, please go ahead and make your contribution.
My dear, this tribal mark thing, it isn't funny at all. Like, I want to hook up. Why am I a sweet guy like that?
Okay.
You're actually not in Nigeria. We got talking. And we not talk 2 weeks.
Hello? Please go ahead and make your contribution. Hello? Oh, sorry, we lost that call. Please call us and let us know. I'm interested in that story, the African story, because it's going to add some color to what we are saying. It's going to be another case study of a different country. So please try to call back and let's know what you are saying. Let's listen to the story of that person. Please call us and let us know what you think about tribal marks, and then what do you think also about tattoos? Are they replacing our beautiful tribal marks, or do you think that okay, tribal marks should just fade away and let's use our traditional attires to identify ourselves? Even though one of our guest speaker is saying that the traditional outfits are not permanent, but the tribal marks are permanent. So call us and let us know. Mr. Jeremiah, do you also think that traditional attires, yes, they are beautiful, but they are not sustainable?
Thank you very much, my moderator. Let me just give you one typical example of what we are just saying. Now, you can see most guys these days that are wearing sagi. Can they tell me a sagi is part of our culture, or is it not? They should know the origin of sagging in the Western world is being copied because of somebody who is a prisoner. So that to remove belts from so that when they want to lock them, the belt will not be with them with that trouser when they are locking them inside the cell. But we now took it here as a kind of as if that is that a culture? But when we are now talking of tribal marks and our attires, is there no difference there?
Of course, yeah.
There is. So we must definitely know what we really need when we are talking of tribal marks, because tribal marks signifies you wherever you go that you are from this state. Even if you enter into another state in the midnight, let's say I move from Lagos or I move from Ogun State, then come to Benue, and somebody who is having the tribal mark that I'm carrying, somebody in that Benue will be able to say, you have one brother or one sister here.
Very correct.
And immediately you will be welcome.
Okay, you'll be welcome. So if you are carrying a tribal mark, you probably will not be stranded based on our guest speaker, Mr. Jeremiah. Call us and let us know what you think. Tribal marks can help you when you're stranded. Somebody can easily identify you and unite you with your brother who is carrying the same mark. Please call us and let us know what you think. Do you agree that tribal marks are a unifying factor? Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm still calling back.
Okay.
Not in this our present world that tribal mark can help you.
Okay. It can still, trust me.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. What I'm saying is, this tribal mark, our culture, I know it's our culture, but it can be modernized. It shouldn't be the way it used to, that now people are running from it. Yes. I remember I remember a story I was told that this old woman came from the village.
Okay.
And she was giving this child to keep. Before the mother could come back, she already given this child tribal mark coming from her head down to her chin.
Oh no.
And that did not help. Do you know that was what scattered that marriage because of tribal mark?
Yes.
Let it be modernized. Me, I love tribal mark, but not those big ones.
Okay.
So that's just my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. Call us and let us know if you think that tribal marks should be fade away or we should find a way of reviving tribal marks. We should bring them to our school curriculum so that children can know the different the tribal marks and their significance and the means of identification, unifying factor, if you like. Let us know, but Mr. Jeremiah, before that caller, you were trying to make a view about tribal mark.
Thank you very much. What I'm trying to view about the tribal marks is just like if the school curriculum can be rearranged so that, like, even with what we are still agitating for, that let the tribal marks come in place, at least it will not be like in those days that they will use a sharp object, because people are now, why people are criticizing sharp object is because of a lot of these diseases that is here and there, isn't it? So which they are now using this as an antagonist to say yes.
Let's take this call, please. Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're on to Radio Maria. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Thank you very much. I'm calling from Jabi, back to you.
Okay, please. Go ahead and make your contribution.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead and tell us your contribution, please.
Yes, as I'm speaking, as an Igala man, I have a tribal mark.
Congratulations.
That's fine. Good to know.
And it fits me very well.
Wow.
I'm not proud of myself. I have one mark on my cheek.
Yes.
Okay.
So, tribal mark fits a lot of people.
Yes.
Exactly.
But for me, for my children, I did not give them any tribal mark.
Why?
Yes.
I'm not holding responsible now.
Okay.
And I'm proud of it because
Exactly.
as an African,
Yes.
as a Nigerian,
Yes.
and as an Igala man, I'm happy to have a tribal mark.
Thank you.
Please, I want to ask a question, if you don't mind. Hello? Oh, sorry, we lost that call. I wanted to ask him, how has that tribal mark been helpful for him? Has that tribal mark in any way, was it a unifying factor for you, for people to identify you? Have you been stranded and your tribal mark saved you? We want to know. Call us back and let us know, please, because you are the first caller that is telling us that you have a tribal mark. You have a lot of clarification to do. Call back and let us know about that. Thank you. Mr. Jeremiah, please, can you continue?
Yeah, as I was saying, that if the government can, just as I've said, that book called Ashati Orisha, and I know that those books are still in archive to the extent that at least they can still hold on to it. so that all these our children, if they cannot even be having tribal mark, let them know that in those days, just as the caller who say the history, so that they will be able to know that there are some this kind of marks that is used to identify from each state in Nigeria. Just as even the Igbo man who said, yes, I mentioned it, that even in Igbo land we have tribal marks. All these marks are in this that book called Ashati Orisha. Ashati Orisha means our culture and our heritage, just as the program we are talking about. This is exactly what that book tells us in those days. You will be able to identify and say, yes, so this one is from this state. That book tells us many things about not only culture alone, even the way we are doing things.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Udoka. Please, we want to expand on this subject matter, tribal marks.
Okay. For instance, too, we have been pointing towards only the beauty of tribal marks. What of the health side? There are some tribes too that will tell you there's a particular ailment. When it begins to affect that child continuously, they've been trying to find out what is going on.
Yes.
They've not seen solutions.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they will have to inscribe some marks on either the child's head or the child's tummy. And at the end of the day, the child is beautifully well. So what about those ones? Are we going to also let them go into extinction? Or are we going to disagree that there are situations or there are things that not only what they call it English medicine there are some things that traditional herbs can handle.
Yes.
Are we also going to let those ones to go into extinction because we are scared of those marks, because we are saying civilization has taken over everywhere? Yes, I am not disputing the fact that all these things, the tattoos, the henna must hold, but I'm just airing my own opinion, saying the tribal marks are beautiful. They are forms of unifications. They unite people.
Yes.
It's not now. If you look at in those days, the criminal, the way things are now, evil was not trending then. That's trending now.
Yes.
Everybody was each other's keeper. You know that this is my own. I have to protect my own. Unlike now, the more those things fade away, the more disunity fades.
Yeah, you're talking about crimes, and I'm thinking, how can this tribal marks help us in the security aspect? Because if you're wearing a tribal mark and you know that it's easy for people to identify you, like when you come with a plain face and with tribal marks, it's easy for people to say, okay, the person who is easily identified. Do you think that tribal marks should evolve, and let's use them as means of security?
Yes, my moderator, yes, it's even good if tribal marks come as a kind of security, because you will not want to dent your parents' name. We carry parents' name, not our own name ordinarily. Family name, you will not want to dent it. Because when you know that I will be quickly be recognized that this is where I come from. This is the house I came from. Even in all these tribal marks, are just my second speaker have said. See, it's a kind of a thing that you enjoy when they gave you this mark. When we are talking about Percival on the health side, giving that blade or whatsoever, is it not part of tribal mark?
Of course.
It is. So why are we now saying that because of this or because of that? In those days, when a child, they call it Abiku Omo. Abiku Omo also no guneke, meaning that no matter how drugs or medicine or whatsoever you use on them, until they give you you will not know that.
Okay. So the solution will come no matter the ailment.
Yes.
Once you get that mark, the solution is on the way.
Solution is
already found in some cases.
So
in many cases.
If we are to talk about me that I'm talking now, I know how many times I've come, I go, I come, I go. I still have the mark. If I show you that with my parents that they born me the first time, the second time, before retaining me the third time.
Mr. Jeremiah, that's
That's a whole
that's a whole new topic.
So you can now see that it's part of the mark. The mark is still here.
So you have a mark that identifies that you were born twice?